Imagine a world where the bond between humans and animals transcends all boundaries. A story so touching, it will leave you in awe. What happened next will tug at your heartstrings and remind you of the power of kindness. But before we dive into this incredible tale, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave a comment about what touched you the most. Now, let's begin. In the vast wilderness of the Golden Savannah Reserve in Kenya, there lived an elderly man named Jacob. Jacob had spent over 50 years protecting the animals of the reserve, from his youthful days as a ranger to his twilight years as a volunteer. He was known far and wide for his unwavering dedication and compassion. Even after retirement, Jacob would drive his old Jeep every day to patrol the area, offering guidance to younger staff and caring for the animals he loved so dearly. The elephants, lions, giraffes, zebras, and rhinos all held a special place in his heart. But Jacob especially looked out for the older animals who needed extra care. Despite his frail health, nothing could stop him. Not even the scorching heat, which often reached a blistering 45 degrees Celsius. One morning, under the blazing sun, Jacob decided to check on a wounded rhino that had been recovering in a bushy part of the reserve. The air inside his Jeep was stifling, causing sweat to trickle down his face, but he pressed on. When he arrived, he stepped out cautiously, observing the rhino from a distance. It still looked weak, its wound not yet healed. Slowly, Jacob approached, his eyes filled with concern. Suddenly, a sharp pain shot through his chest. His vision blurred, and he collapsed onto the dry grass, gasping for breath. Nearby, two colleagues, Samuel and Kofi, were tending to the zebras when they heard a faint cry. Rushing over, they found Jacob lying motionless. Samuel checked his pulse. It was erratic. Kofi searched his pockets for his heart medication, but came up empty-handed. Panic set in as they realized Jacob might not have brought it that day. Without wasting a moment, Samuel radioed for help. Everyone nearby stopped their work to assist, and soon a vehicle arrived to rush Jacob to the medical room. On the way, Samuel kept calling his name, hoping he'd respond, but Jacob's breathing grew fainter by the second. At the medical room, doctors worked tirelessly, trying everything they could. After more than 15 tense minutes, the doctors solemnly announced that Jacob's heart had stopped beating long ago. Silence fell over the room as sorrow overwhelmed everyone. The reserve had lost its guiding light, a man who had dedicated his life to its creatures. Jacob's family was informed, and according to his wishes, the funeral was held right there in the reserve. Following local traditions, a simple wooden bed was placed in the central courtyard, where his body rested peacefully. Staff members gathered to pay their respects, tears streaming down their faces. Samuel stood beside him, trembling as he remembered their shared moments. Kofi lit incense, whispering prayers softly. Suddenly, a deep roar echoed from the entrance. Everyone turned in alarm to see a massive male lion approaching. It moved slowly, exuding both majesty and mystery. Fear gripped the crowd as people scrambled for safety. Yet, the lion showed no aggression. Instead, it walked straight toward the wooden bed where Jacob lay. No one dared speak as the mighty beast circled the bed, then bowed its head as if paying respects. Samuel noticed a large scar on the lion's side and suddenly recalled something. He and Jacob had saved this very lion 15 years ago. Back then, the lion had been trapped by poachers, injured and helpless. Jacob and Samuel had freed it, treated its wounds, and released it back into the wild. Perhaps the lion had silently watched over Jacob all these years, waiting for this moment to say goodbye. The sight brought tears to everyone's eyes. Slowly, Samuel approached the lion, expecting resistance, but the animal simply bowed its head again. Encouraged, others stepped forward too, sharing in the sacred moment. Fear gave way to collective grief as the lion roared, a sound that seemed to echo the depth of its sorrow. After the ceremony, Jacob's body was carried to a quiet field beneath a large shade tree. As they dug a grave and laid him to rest, the lion followed closely, roaring endlessly. When the group left, the lion remained behind, standing vigil by the grave. Its final roar pierced the air, echoing across the fields like a heartbreaking farewell. The next day, the reserve paused all activities to honor Jacob. People came to place wildflowers and burn incense, praying for his soul. Occasionally, the lion returned to visit the grave, sitting quietly as if lost in thought. For Jacob had given it life, and now it repaid him with loyalty and gratitude. Samuel and Kofi often visited the grave too, continuing Jacob's dream of preserving nature. Moral lesson: true kindness leaves a lasting impact, bridging even the widest gaps between species. Acts of compassion are never forgotten. They live on in the hearts of those we touch. If this story moved you, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, goodbye